Hey everyone, welcome back to week 5 of 52 Weeks Older and Wiser. I'm Sabrina and I'm so glad that you're here with me again. Or if this is your first time, welcome. I hope that you find these little tidbits of information to be helpful as you grow in your wellness and grow in your age as well. So, last week, we talked about social isolation. Um, so that was really touching on the emotional piece of the 3 pillars of wellness: social, emotional, and physical. And so, and I guess it is both social and emotional because it can really impact both of those pillars. This week, we're going to talk about flexibility. Flexibility is near and dear to my heart because it is a key part of physical wellness. And if you watched my intro video, you know that my background is in exercise science. So, of course, I love all things kind of fitness related. And I think flexibility oftentimes will fall under kind of that purview when you think about it in your day to day life. So, why is flexibility and stretching important as we age? First and foremost, oftentimes as we age, our muscles kind of begin to shorten and become tighter. And so, if they're shorter and tighter, then when they're kind of called upon to be active, like for instance, if we slip or trip and we all of a sudden need to catch ourselves, they may not be there. The muscles may not be there in their full ability and their ability to extend in order to catch us. Or if we do, do some sort of activity, playing with the grandkids or out for a bike ride on vacation or something that's kind of out of the norm and muscles haven't been used, it can often result in a strain or a sprain or some sort of muscle damage. It's also really important to keep those muscles flexible because that helps with range of motion in your joints. The tighter your muscles become, the less you are able to fully extend or move any of your joints. And that can, of course, have repercussions when you think about any sort of joint disease like arthritis. So it's really important to think about keeping the muscles long and flexible and able to move when we want and we need them. And so when you think about flexibility, as far as your entire body goes, it can kind of become overwhelming. Oh my gosh, there's lots of muscles. Our whole body is full of muscles. But I would really encourage you to think about incorporating a stretching routine 3 or 4 times a week. You're going to want to think about stretching and flexibility for your lower extremities, so your legs and your feet and your hips. Those are the muscles that are really going to help you with mobility. So continuing to be able to walk, to get up and down out of chairs, to go up and down stairs, to get on the floor and play with your grandkids and then get back up again, those kinds of things. And then for your upper body muscles, you're going to want to be thinking about everything from your neck all the way down to your waist and your spine. And these are muscles that are going to be really important for posture, but also things that you may not think about, like driving. One of the things that's important to be able to do is to look over your shoulder. when you're backing your car out, or look over your shoulder when you're changing your lane. So those kinds of things are really important to keep the neck and the shoulders really flexible. Also, what do you do if you're trying to get plates out of a cabinet or putting groceries away in the pantry? A lot of times you're going to need to be reaching up and doing things that really call on those shoulders to be flexible and mobile. So I'm just going to give you a few tips on how to go about a flexibility or a stretching routine, and then I'm going to link to some really good routines in the description below. So I would definitely encourage you to check those links out. But basically you want to have some sort of routine, as I mentioned, 3 to 4 times a week. You're going to want to make sure that you warm up your muscles before you stretch them. So make sure that you march in place for 5 minutes, or you walk around your living room for 5 minutes, or you take a walk around the block. Something to kind of get the blood flowing and get the muscles warmed up, because you're not going to get as effective or as safe of a stretch if you're trying to stretch cold muscles. So warming up is really essential. Make sure to breathe. Oh my gosh, one of the worst things you can do when you're stretching is to hold your breath, because you want to be able to hold these stretches for around 15 seconds each. And if you're holding your breath for 15 seconds, that's not going to do anything good for you. That's going to actually make you more tense. So make sure to keep breathing and staying relaxed as you do your stretches. The other thing you're going to want to do is to just get to the point of pressure and not pain, and then hold it. No bouncing with the stretches. That's not an effective way to stretch, and it can cause injury. And you're going to want to make sure, if you have any pre-existing condition like Parkinson's or arthritis, a hip replacement, knee replacement, those kinds of things, make sure to check in with your doctor first and see kind of what the best stretching exercises are for you. And then most importantly is to make sure that you know that this kind of thing takes time. A lot of people do not incorporate flexibility and stretching exercises into their daily lives or into their weekly lives. And so it's going to take some time to get to a point where it's a fun and relaxing activity. But I promise you, if you stick with it, it will pay off in spades. It is so essential for healthy aging to be able to have that mobility and that function. So definitely, I would say, if you are not a physically active person at all, you don't do anything, stretching is a great place to start. And I would start today if you can, for sure. So again, I will link to some different videos and articles in the description below. I love having you here. I hope that this is an important little tidbit of information for you, and would really appreciate it if you would share these videos with loved ones or people you think might benefit from them. And definitely click on the like below and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And that's it for this week. Thanks, everyone. Have a great one.